10:43 now. Welcome back in, everybody. Cincinnati sports writer Bill Cook has a new book out right now, and it's all about a Bengals quarterback whose career was cut short by injury. And Bill's here to tell us all about Greg Cook. Bill, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for stopping by here. So, cut short by injury. What was the injury?
He hurt his shoulder, the third game of his career, his
Okay.
rookie season,
And we're talking what years here?
1969.
1969.
And he missed a couple games. He sat out a couple games, and he came back, but his shoulder was never the same. He finished the year and was the American Football League Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, but he never was able to play again. He had surgery the following year. He ended up having 3 surgeries, kept trying to come back, and he never could do it. The pain never went away.
How many games? So how many games did he play?
I think he played 11 games.
11 games.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat the Chiefs, he beat the Raiders. I mean, big teams back in those days.
Yeah, the Chiefs were one of the best teams even then. That's the game he got hurt in. He got sacked twice. There's some confusion about which one actually caused the injury, but after the second one, he didn't come back.
So, what type of person was he? He passed, what, 2012?
Yeah, 2012. He was a very talented artist, and he sold many of his paintings around town. He was actually, when he was at UC, he was a student in art. He was a very outgoing, loquacious, friendly guy. He had a lot of friends. People gravitated to him. He used to mess around with Paul Brown during practice, and no one did that.
Well, I mean, these are the early
Greg
stages
Cook.
of the...
It's the second year of the franchise, And Paul Brown drafted him because he had seen him play at UC. He led the nation in total offense the senior year at UC. And Paul said, that's our quarterback. We're going to build our franchise around him. Unfortunately, he never got the chance to do it.
And, I mean, all indications from your research and writing here, I mean, he could have been the Bengals could have been a major player there in those early years.
Mike Brown still says today if Greg Cook hadn't gotten hurt, the Bengals would have been the team of the 70s instead of the Steelers.
Wow.
And Bill Walsh, the Hall of Fame 49ers coach, said he was the most talented quarterback he'd ever seen.
Wow, look at that. Just what. Anyway, you see that today, one injury. And back then, I mean, you're in the business. You didn't have, 24-hour sports. You didn't have all these things where everybody's trying to find something to talk about. So it kind of went under the radar.
Well, I don't think back then it did in this town. Like, you're right. You're right. They didn't have all the attention on sports now, but locally it was a huge story.
Right.
Problem was they didn't have the technology, medical technology at the time. There were no MRIs to diagnose the injury. So they did 3 surgeries. The same surgeon did every one. And he basically just went in there trying to figure out what was wrong. Yeah. And he never did figure it out.
Oh, this is good stuff. What made you say, I'm going to put pen to paper here on Greg Cook?
Well, I'm old enough that I was around when Greg Cook played. I remembered him. I covered UC for many years for the Inquirer and the Post. And I wrote a book about Bob Huggins a couple years ago. Right. When I finished that, I was trying to think of something else to write. And I thought I would do a book about the greatest athletes in UC history. And I was making a list of the athletes, and I got to Greg Cook, and I thought, wait a minute, that guy, I could write a whole book about him.
Right.
So that's what I did. His life after football kind of went down. He went into a downward spiral. He became an alcoholic.
Well, I mean, when that's not all you know for good reason, and you put your whole life into that growing up in college and whatnot.
Right.
Gosh, I mean, there's a lot of resources nowadays that you didn't have back then. When you talk about mental health and dealing with things, but I can't imagine.
Well, he basically ended up homeless. He was staying with friends of his. He one time lived in a friend's storage unit. Wow. And he had a lot of people, including Mike Brown, who was a close friend of his, not just an employee-employer relationship. They were they were good friends. He tried to help him. Bob Trumpy, who played for the Bengals, and he tried to help him. A lot of people reached out to him, but he just wouldn't. He wouldn't. For some reason, he didn't accept the help. Yeah,
it's too bad. But the book out right now, you can find it local bookstores.
Right now, it's only on Amazon. It'll be in Joseph Beth this weekend.
Nice.
And that's where it is.
Okay, Bill. Nice to talk to you.
Great.
Thanks
Appreciate
for coming in. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Time right now, 10:47. Catherine's standing by with a check of it. Look at that sky.
Nice.
That's beautiful.
A little chilly, but hey, the sun shines out. The clouds are nice.